G'day guys, welcome back to No Man's Sky. I was a bit slow in getting this video out as the new Voyages update dropped, and I'm easily distracted by making my own starships. But I wanted to make this video as just my small way of saying thank you for 1,000 subscribers. I started this channel because I love the game, and I wanted to help all the newer players get into it as well, and hopefully help them out a little on their journey. But the support I've received so far has been amazing, and well beyond any of my expectations. So I just wanted to humbly say thank you to every single one of my subscribers. You guys are awesome, and I really appreciate the comments on my videos as well. So in today's video, I'm going to explain everything you need to know about creating your own custom fighters. And as a thank you for all your support for my channel, I'm going to show you how to make 4 awesome ships along the way. And all of them will have some of the best supercharged arrangements that you can have in the game. Now the fourth one is what I consider to be the best supercharged arrangement you can get, but I'll keep that as a surprise for later in the video. I also made this table with all the ship stats, so you can take a screenshot for easy reference in future if you like. And in case you don't know, fighters have the best stats for combat. And with the right upgrades and supercharged arrangement, you can easily make them into some of the best ships in your fleet. Plus they look pretty cool. What's not to like? I'll also show you where to easily get all the parts for them and the best location to build them. And one of the benefits of building your own fighters is you can paint them any color you want. So once again, thanks everyone for subscribing, you guys rock. And let's get into it. Okay, so if you want to build your own custom fighters, you need to gather the parts to make it the way you want. All this means is you need to buy other fighters and then scrap them at a space station to get the parts you need. To build these fighters, for example, each ship will need an engine, some wings and a cockpit, and we need an S-class reactor core for each ship as well. Once you have the parts you want, then you can construct your ship at a space station. All of this so far is pretty easy. However, the hardest thing about building these type of ships is finding a space station that gives you the supercharged arrangement that you're looking for. And that's because each space station will give you a different supercharged arrangement, which is completely dependent upon the parts you use. And each part you change or add will change the supercharged arrangement as well. What this means is you have to go and visit a lot of space stations to find one that will give you the supercharged arrangement you want for the parts you want to use. And don't worry, this all sounds a little more complicated than it actually is. And I've already done all the work for you for all of these fighters at any rate, but I'm going to show you how to do it as we build them. Now to make this as easy as possible for you to get everything you need, I've visited a ton of planets and space stations to ensure you have an absolute minimum of travelling required. In fact, we only need to go to 5 systems in total to get all of the parts and build all 4 ships. First though, here's a pic of each ship and the parts you need for each, so you can take a screenshot for the ones you might want to build. And by the way, I'll also give you a list of the parts you can get at every location we go to, so you can also take a screenshot for easy reference. Now one last thing which is important. Make sure you have at least 1 to 2 spaces available in your ship inventory, so you have room to buy and sell ships. And don't forget you can store up to 18 ships in your freighter now to make room if you need to. Now everything in this video is in the Euclid galaxy. That's the first galaxy that you start out in. And first up we're going to go and get some Afterburner Wings for the Viper. And just a quick game tip for the newer players. If you have not done this yet, it's a really good idea to build a base computer near a portal so you can instantly travel to it whenever you need a portal. And you don't even need to build a base like I've done here. All you need is a base computer to be able to teleport back to a location. And if you don't know how to find a portal, I have a video showing you how, and I'll leave a link in the description below for you. Okay, so let's head to the portal and enter these cliffs. When you arrive, fly to these coordinates. This will take you to a trading post which I have marked with a red save beacon to help you find it. As soon as you land, I also recommend you reload the restore point save that you made when you hopped out of your ship. This will reload the waves of ships that land at the trading post. And we're waiting for one of these ships to arrive with the Afterburner Wings that we're looking for. If you want to build a Viper fighter, this is the only location to get these wings, so make sure you get these. Now all you need to do is go up to the pilot and buy the ship off him. And in case you don't know, you can do this for free if you want, simply by changing your purchases to free in the settings. Once you have the ship, you can scrap it later at a space station for the wings, and I'll show you how to do this shortly. Now, as the screenshot of this location says, you can also pick up the vector cockpit, the speeder cockpit, and the mono thruster here. You will need 4 mono thrusters if you want to build all 4 fighters. Again, all you need to do is buy the ship with the parts you want and scrap them later at the space station. If you're limited for space, just get the Afterburner Wings. We can get all the other parts later. Once you've bought the ships with all the parts you want, head on up to the space station. Now, all the ships from the trading post we were just at also land here in the space station. We went to the trading post first though, because my testing showed it was quicker to get the Afterburner Wings at the trading post. So first, let's call in the ship with the Afterburner Wings. Now make sure this is the active ship in your inventory by checking this menu. You don't want to scrap the wrong one by mistake. Ask me how I know. Then head over to the Starship outfitting terminal, which is out the back. Interact with the terminal and select Begin Salvage Analysis. Then select Extract Customization Module. And finally select Salvage Wings. Now if you check your inventory, you will have the Afterburner Wings in there. Now all you need to do is repeat this to get the parts off any other ships. And if you're following along with the video to build all of these ships, now's the time to get a speeder cockpit. So we'll buy the ship and scrap it and extract the cockpit. And as another example, if we buy the ship with a mono thruster, then we can scrap it and extract the engine. And this is how you get the parts you need for these type of ships that you can build. The last thing we want to do here is visit the Starship vendor upstairs and buy one of these S-Class reactors to power your ship. Now remember, you will need 4 of these in total. And as you can see, the vendor will only sell you 1. So here's another little handy game tip. If you want to get all 4 now, you can just buy 1, then go down to your ship, hop in and out of it to make a new restore point save, and then reload the save. What this does is refresh all the merchant stock so you can go buy another S-Class reactor. But make sure you always make a new save before you reload it, or you won't save the items that you just purchased. Now you don't need to do this. In fact, it's easier just to buy 1 reactor at each of the locations that we visit until you have 4. But it's a good tip for future reference, especially when buying any S-Class upgrades for your ships, multi-tools and your exosuit. Okay, so now it's time to visit the second location, and we need to go back to a portal. So because we have a base at a portal, you can just use the space station teleporter to go back to your portal location. So the next place we're going is to pick up the Hardframe S Wings for the speeder. Once again, go to your portal and enter these glyphs. When you arrive, you can go to another trading post at these coordinates. It's very close to the portal. I have put down another red save beacon at the location to help you find it. But I would recommend just going straight up to the space station to get these Hardframe S Wings. I've done a heap of testing for this video, and the space station is the easiest place to get this part. The reason I've given you two locations for both of these two wings is they are a bit rare as far as ship parts go, and I want to give you some options to make sure everyone can get all the parts. As soon as you land, again reload the restore point save that you made when you hopped out of your ship here. This will reload the waves of ships that land here. And we're waiting for one of these ships with the Hardframe S Wings. If you want to build a speeder, this is the only location to get these wings. So head on up to the pilot and buy the ship off him. So just like before, make sure the active ship in your inventory is the one you want to scrap by checking this menu. You don't want to scrap the wrong one by mistake. Then head over to the Starship outfitting terminal, interact with the terminal and select Begin Salvage Analysis. Then extract Customization module, and finally salvage the wings. Now if you check your inventory, you will have the Hardframe S Wings in there. Now as the screenshot of this location says, you can also pick up the Vector Cockpit, the Speeder Cockpit, and the Mono Thruster here as well. Again, all you need to do is buy the ship with the parts you want and scrap them for the part here at the space station. And don't forget to go up to the ship merchant and buy another S-Class reactor if you need more. Okay, so that's all the hard bits done. From here the rest is pretty easy. So use the space station teleporter again to return to your portal. And next we'll be going to the first location where we build one of the fighters. Okay, so the first ship we're going to build is the Viper. I love this fighter, it gives me massive Battlestar Galactica vibes. Once again go up to your portal and enter these cliffs. Once you arrive, just hop in your ship and head on up to the space station. Now as long as you got the Afterburner Wings, the Hardframe S Wings and a Speeder Cockpit from the previous two locations, you can collect all the other parts you need here. First though, there's a couple of ships that land here that we want to get the parts from. So look for this one. As you can see, it has both the mono engine and the Omega cockpit. So buy this ship and scrap it for the cockpit. This one has these sloped wings with a small fin on the side, and these are called Vector Wings. So buy this ship and scrap it for the wings. If you want to build the Omega fighter, make sure you buy these two ships and scrap them for both the Omega cockpit and the Vector Wings. This is the only location to get both of these parts. And don't forget to buy an S-Class reactor from the merchant if you need any. Just a reminder, you'll need 4 of these in total if you want to build all 4 ships. Now you should have all the parts for the Viper. We can go ahead and build our first ship. But before you start building any ship, go back to your current ship and make a restore point save. I can't stress this enough. This is just in case you make any mistakes, and there are some other reasons as well that I'll show shortly that you might want to reload the save. Once you've done that, then head out the back to the Starship Fabricator station in the middle. Open it up and you can see down the bottom here, you can scroll through the different types of ships that you can build. So make sure you've selected the fighter. Now you don't have to do these in any particular order, but let's just start on the left and open up the cockpits. As you can see, any cockpits you currently have in your inventory will be here, and any you do not have will be shaded out. This will also show you all the different cockpit parts you can get for the fighter category. If we jump over to the wings for example, again you can see the ones we currently own and can scroll the list of all the different wings available to build fighters. It's the same for the other type of ships that you can build as well. Anyway, back to the cockpits, and the one we want here at this location is the vector cockpit. Next is the reactor, again just select it to fit it. And the wings, and for this ship we want the Afterburner Wings. And finally the engines, so add the mono thruster. And as you can see, the colours have popped up, and now you can paint it any colour you like. Now you will have a couple of options for the paint finish. You'll see this one is matte and this one is metallic. But unless you've completed some of the expeditions, these last three may not be available to you yet. This one is stealth. This one is ironclad. And this one is the Titan stripes. Getting exclusive rewards like these is one of the many reasons I love doing expeditions. Anyway, you still have a couple of options even if you're new to the game, and just pick whatever colours and finish you prefer. Once you've settled on a colour scheme you like, then just assemble the ship. But before I build the ship, first I want to show you how the supercharged arrangement works. As I said earlier, every space station will give you a different supercharged arrangement, and this also depends on the parts you are using. If you change a part, you'll change the supercharged arrangement. So let's have a look at this one first. As you can see, not all the squares are unlocked yet, and only 3 supercharged squares are visible at the moment. My point is, this is normal. You won't always see all the supercharged squares straight away when building custom ships. Sometimes you'll just have to build it to see what the supercharged arrangement looks like. Now I'm going to give you some really good tips on doing this shortly that will show you how to do this for free and not lose any money or any of your ship parts. But first, let me show you how the supercharged arrangement changes when you change any of the parts. So don't leave the Fabricator, just press whatever button is the return button here to go back to the building page. Now for example, let's just change out the cockpit. So remove the cockpit and put it back in your inventory, and let's add a different one. Now if you assemble your ship, you'll see the supercharged arrangement has changed. If we go back and change it to a different cockpit, and again, the supercharged arrangement has changed. And this is the same for every part you change with the cockpit, wings and engines. If you change the wings, for example, again you'll get a different supercharged arrangement for the ship. So this is what I was talking about at the start of the video when I mentioned that the only hard part to building a custom ship is finding a space station that gives you the supercharged arrangement that you want for the parts that you want to use. Now you don't have to worry about it with the ships we're going to build in this video because I've already done this for you. Okay, so I'll just change these parts back and we can go ahead and build the Viper. Now whatever you do, do not hop in the ship yet. If you do, you'll overwrite your save. This means you won't be able to get back all of your parts if it's no good or you decide to scrap it. So don't hop in the ship ever until you've checked the supercharged squares and you're sure you want to keep it. So let's go over here to the Starship outfitting terminal and select Upgrade Starship, then select Purchase Storage, and as you can see it's already pretty expensive and it's about to get a lot worse. And keep going until I see all the supercharged squares. And here you go, all 4 are together. And this is a great supercharged arrangement for boosting just one thing like damage or speed. But you can split this if you prefer a 3+1 setup and use one square to supercharge something else if you wish. And if you haven't built your own fighter before, congrats. Unlock whatever squares you want and exit the terminal, and you're done. Now, if you built the ship, spent the money, and you didn't like the supercharged arrangement, your only option now is to sell it or scrap it for parts. If you sell it, you'll get back less money than you spent upgrading it, and you will lose all your parts. If you scrap it for parts, you only get one part back. Even if you have set your purchases to free, you're still going to lose the ship parts. This means you constantly have to buy more ships and scrap them for more parts to keep going to new space stations and find the supercharged arrangement you want. So here's where making that restore point save that you made before starting building comes in massively handy. So if you don't like the supercharged arrangement after unlocking all the squares, just reload the restore point save that you made before starting building your ship. You will go back in time to when you saved the game, and all of your parts will be back in your inventory. And now you can head off and go to the next space station in your search for a great supercharged arrangement. And it costs you nothing to check, and you still have all your parts. And now it's time to build your surprise ship. This is one of my favourite custom fighters, and you may have seen me using this ship in a few of my previous videos and on some expeditions, because I really like this one. Everyone is different, but for me, this ship is awesome. I love the look of it. But wait, it gets better. When I was making this video, I found a new place to build this one that gives it, in my opinion, one of the best supercharged arrangements in the game. So much so that after I build this new one with you, I'm going to swap it out for the black one. And here's the crazy bit. I found it here where we built the Viper. Now this almost never happens, that you find a space station that builds you two ships you want with the supercharged squares that you want. So let's go ahead and build it. And remember, always start out building a new ship by making a new restore point save. So head back to the shipbuilding terminal and start out by putting in the speeder cockpit. Add an S-class reactor. Add the vector wings. And finally, the mono engine. Now again, you can paint it however you like. This time I'm going to go for a blue camo instead of the black one, just for something different because I've had the black one for ages. When you're ready, assemble the ship. Okay, so like I said earlier, when you construct an S-class ship, most of the time you'll get a fairly good idea on whether it's worth building or not by how many of the supercharged squares are visible. But sometimes you will have no option but to build it, like this one. Now this is extremely rare, but this is as bad as it gets. Even though it's S-class, there's not a single supercharged square visible yet. But we made a save, so no worries. Simply hit proceed and build the ship. And don't forget, don't hop in the ship yet or you'll overwrite your save, as I explained before. Now, even though I already know this is an awesome supercharged arrangement and I'm keeping it, it's still a good idea and a great habit to get into. So again, head over to the Starship outfitting terminal and select Upgrade Starship and purchase your storage. So I just skipped ahead to save some time because I'm keeping this one, so I unlocked everything. And here you go, this is an awesome supercharged arrangement, like really awesome. So unlock everything you want and you can exit the ship upgrade station. And here's why I think this sort of arrangement is one of the best you can get, because you can group all four together, you can split it for a 3+1, and you can split it for a 2+2 as well. I love a supercharged arrangement like this. This gives you an enormous amount of flexibility and you can set up the supercharged squares for whatever you want the ship to do. Again, thanks for all the support on the channel guys, and I hope you enjoyed the bonus ship. And just a little reminder here, if you use the vector wings to build the ship, don't forget to get another set so you can build the Omega fighter shortly. Now that's two amazing fighters built already. You may need to go back to your freighter and put them in storage to make room. Once you're ready though, go back to your portal and we can quickly complete the final two ships. These will be pretty quick because that's all we have left to do, and I've explained pretty much everything you need to know. So hang in there, you're almost done. Okay, so the next ship we're going to build is a speeder. It's another fighter that I really like using because it gives me Star Wars vibes. Once again, go up to your portal and into these glyphs. Once you arrive, just hop in your ship and head on up to the space station. Don't forget to grab a reactor core if you still need one. And especially don't forget to make a save point before you start building. If you're ready, just head out the back and interact with the build terminal. Add the speeder cockpit, the S-Class reactor, the Hardframe S Wings, and the mono engine. Now go ahead and choose whatever colour you want it to be and assemble the speeder. As you can see, there are only 3 supercharged squares visible at the moment. And proceed with the build if you're ready. Now once again, head over to the Starship Outfitter, and again we'll just purchase storage to unlock the last supercharged square. And this is another great supercharged arrangement that will suit everyone. You can group 4 together, 3+1, or 2+2. So besides being awesome on the outside, the speeder is also awesome on the inside. I like this one, I think it's really cool. Okay, so last one. Jump in the teleporter and head back to your portal. Okay, so the last ship we're going to build is the Omega. It's another fighter that I really like simply for the shape. Once again, go to your portal and enter these glyphs. Once you arrive, just hop in your ship and head on up to the space station. And once again, do not forget to make a save point before you start building. If you're ready, head out the back again and interact with the build terminal. Add the Omega cockpit, the S-Class reactor, the vector wings, and the mono engine. Once again, choose your colours and you can assemble the fighter. Now head over to the Starship Outfitter again and we'll just purchase storage to unlock the last supercharged square. And this one has a nice 3+1 arrangement which you could split up if you wish. This is another awesome fighter which will be a great all-rounder and make a really nice explorer. Anyway, that's it guys. I hope you found this video helpful. And once again, thank you to all my subscribers. You guys have been awesome and I'm really appreciative of all the support that I've received to date. So thank you. I really hope you like these fighters. Take it easy, travelers, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks everyone.